Stephanie asked, she says, hello and good morning, Dee and fellow staffpreneurs. Thanks for the training sessions. I completely forgot to ask a question about something that I'm currently struggling with. So I have built a pipeline. And how do you keep these candidates engaged and work on your relationship building while they're waiting for a job? How long do you check in with them and how often? I discovered while interviewing candidates that there is a distrust of recruiters. Since I am new to the industry, there is no point of reference for my services. I don't want them to think that I am stringing them along with no job at end. Thank you for any and all suggestions. Oh, please give my information. Okay, so really quickly, Stephanie, the people that you're talking to, you should never promise them a job. You know, you don't have the ability to promise them a job. You only have the ability to build a relationship with them. So if you are telling them that you have a job opportunity for them or what have you, stop doing that. Don't do that again, right? You really want to, when you're building these relationships, you're letting them know, I'm building a relationship with you. This is what we do, you know, and if something comes along, then I'll definitely give you a call, or I will give you a call as things come along. So you cannot, and I've, you know, this is, for some people, you already know this, but you're not going to be able to place everyone. Your job is to just build the relationship with them, right? So that when opportunities do come along, then you have a relationship connected with them to speak with. They should be looking for jobs on their own as well. They should still be doing their own interview thing, but it is your job to stay in contact with them. And so depending on how amazing the candidate is and where they are in their job search should determine how often that you speak to them. Sometimes it's once a week, sometimes it's once every other week. If it's a super connector, I like to talk to them at least every 1 or 2 weeks. Put them on a rotation schedule and reach out to them. And that connect or that reach out doesn't always have to be via phone. It can be via email, you know, send them information. Remember, think in the sense of establishing a relationship. Think in the sense of establishing a relationship, okay? So when you're establishing a relationship, you're not always giving something, or you're not always getting something. Sometimes you're getting, sometimes you're giving, sometimes you're just enjoying each other's company and time. That's how you build a relationship. So I hope, and be honest with them, you know, as things come along, because you're not really you're a matchmaking company. So you can't match them into a job that you don't have, right? If they're exceptional, then you have a different type of conversation with them, and you can create a strategy to go out and find a great opportunity for them. But in the meantime, right now, if you're building your pipeline, then you should just continue to build and nurture that pipeline over time. Once you continue to build and nurture that pipeline over time, then ultimately you'll get a win. I used the example once before. There was a gentleman that I wanted to place in a position who was exceptional the moment I met him. And I worked with him for about a year, maybe even a year and a half before I was able to place him. And I sent him on many interviews. And sometimes months would go by and I didn't send him on any interviews at all. But because I continued to nourish and that relationship, that gave me the ability when it was time, or when an opportunity did come along and I called him, he was like ready. You know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, okay, great, D. And he got the job. And it was a management position. And what did he do once he got the job? He called me to give me job orders. So again, you're nurturing these relationships. You're not promising them any jobs. Ever. You never, ever, 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 ever promise someone a job, okay? Never. You do not have the ability, unless you're going to hire them on your staff full time, you do not have the ability to promise anyone a job. Your job as a matchmaker is to profile candidates all the time. Every time you talk to them, you should be profiling them so that you can match them when the right opportunity comes along. I hope that answered your question, Stephanie. Thank you. Bye.